So we had seen that from level 5 to level 6, it was this, like this was the hint that was given out to us, and we'd use the file command to get our answer. So now using the password that we received here, we can now log into the next level, which is level 6.
Okay.
Did you try doing more than this? Like, did you try seeing
No,
how far
actually,
you could?
I was doing Mr. Robot machine.
Okay, so were you able to complete that?
Yeah, yes, sir. I completed.
Okay, good.
Sir, in that part, the John the Ripper tool you used, no, sir, to crack the
Yes,
hash.
yes.
Actually, I didn't have that word list.
You don't have the word list?
Yeah, but sir, in basic pen testing, you didn't use the word list. But in this, you are using word list. What's the reason?
Because actually, see, you can try it both ways, with a word list and without a word list as well.
Okay.
See, the thing is, if you specify a word list, okay, if you give it a word list, then it is not going to try anything else apart from what is present within that list.
Okay.
But if a word list is not specified, then it performs its own brute force attack and it tries a few different combinations, which, since you have not provided any file, it creates combinations on its own.
Okay. Okay.
So, in case of basic pen testing, what we had seen that the password was the same as the username.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So now that password is not in the word list. So if I'm providing one, it's not considering that the username itself could be the password.
Okay.
Okay, so that is why I used a word list here, and in the other case, I did not.
Sir, that word list is default word list, right?
That is, it's not actually default. I mean, you'll need to specify it for whatever tool you want to use, like rocq.txt.
Okay. We need to separately download the word list, or it will be
It
in the
should be
file.
already present in your system. What Linux are you using?
Okay. Same parrot, sir.
Parrot. It should be present. Go
Okay.
to this user usr share and word lists. Go to this directory.
One second. Maybe use
See what all you have here.
word list. Okay.
This
Derp, DNSmap.txt, fasttrack.txt,
hmm,
Metasploit, rockq.txt.gz.
dot gz. Okay, so see, dot gz just means that it's a compressed file. Okay, it's an archive. That's all
Okay,
it is. Just like if we have zip files and stuff. So similarly, there's also gz.
okay, okay.
It's just gz, or is it dot tar dot gz?
No, no, just gz.
Just gz.
T.gz. Yeah,
So you can use g unzip and the name of the file.
okay. G, okay, permission.
Pardon?
No, no, it was showing permission. And I think, yeah, it's sir. Now it's .txt.
txt. Okay. So
Yeah,
that is the text file, and you can use it
okay.
as a word list.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, no problem. Uh, so for Bandit, what I was saying is, okay, now we are in level 6. Okay, again, I think there might be a hidden directory. No? Okay, let's read what we need to do. Okay, so it says that the password for the next level is stored somewhere on the server and has all of the following properties. So it is owned by user Bandit 7, owned by group Bandit 6, and the size is 33 bytes.
Okay,
Okay, so
so we can use same right now, sir.
you can try to use the same thing. Let's see what happens when I try to use the exact same command. But now you need to keep in mind that this is within the entire system.
Okay,
So fine, let me check what happens. Size is, in this case, what is the size? 33 bytes. Okay, so 33. See, if I just give it, it's not okay. So there is no file for that size here.
okay, so many files are there.
Yep. So that's why a much better way to do this would be to also include the other things that they have mentioned, that it's owned by the user Bandit 7, owned by the group Bandit 6. So what I need to do is I just need to add these parameters to my find command as well, because
I
it
think
can
we can
handle these
use
things.
pipe.
Pardon?
We can use pipeline, sir, so that we can give this input to next. Like, can you open that bandit? ls minus al command can give this input to ls minus al command. I think we can find who is group in bandit 6 and user bandit 7.
Yes, okay, that is also something you could do.
Yeah,
Another
please.
thing that you could do is simply you can use the functionality of the this find command itself. It allows you to specify a user as well as a group. Group was bandit 6 and user was bandit 7. Okay, bandit 6. Okay, what you can do is simply what I simply did was I redirected all the errors to the null device, which is basically uh, a system file which discards any input that is given to it. So instead of seeing any errors, all the errors will be directed towards this file, basically meaning the error messages are all discarded and
Okay.
we see our required file.
Sir, actually, I still can't understand what the two is for. Two.
Two, okay, see, without the two, what we got was with this exact same command, you are seeing a lot of results which say permission denied, right?
Yeah.
Now, why we see this is because we are currently logged in as this particular user, Bandit 6. So we don't really have permissions to go through a lot of the directories that are present on the system.
Okay.
So now we don't know what particular directory we need to look into because it says that it's stored somewhere on the server. So it could be on the entire system. So we can't change what directory we are searching from.
Okay.
What we can do is we can redirect all of these errors to be discarded so that we don't see them on the screen.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So this two means this is an error. You could
Two.
say it's sort
Okay.
of an
Okay.
error code, and we are directing all these error messages to this null file, which is basically a system file
Okay.
which discards any input that is given to it. So with this option, now we'll not see any of the errors, just the proper results. And in this case, we have just this one result. So we can cat this file. So this is what our password is for the next level or level 7. So again, exit. Now even with these errors, you can see that this is the file that is found. But to make it easier to read, we can use this option.
Oh,
Okay, so we have now reached level 7. Let's just take a look at the description for it. So it says the password for the next level is stored in the file data.txt next to the word millionth. Okay, so there must be a file called data.txt. Okay, so that's present. Now if I just try to view this normally, okay, I can see it's quite a large file, and it does not make sense to go through this manually because okay, there's a lot of data here.
yeah.
So what command could I possibly use in this case?
Grep, sir. Grep.
Yes, okay, we can use grep. So simply just cat it, or okay, we don't even need to cat it, we can just use grep, and we are looking for millionth. What is the
Sir,
file
what
data?
less command will do?
Less command, like I just viewed the file, right? That is what
Like add.
I'll just run it again and show you. See, this is the password. Let me just copy it. Excuse me. Now see, if I were to just cat this file data.txt,
Okay.
okay, so the entire output is going to come, and I'll need to like scroll up and down to see this entire thing. And of course, my entire
Okay.
shell is filled with the contents of this file. My terminal is filled with it. But if I use the less
Yeah, yeah.
command and see it, one benefit is that I can easily use the arrow keys to move through the file. And
Sir, it's loading, sir. 1 second.
pardon,
No, it's loading, sir, for me. I think my internet is slow. Yeah, continue, sir.
okay. So with this less command, what you have is you can easily use arrow keys to move through the file. And if I simply press Q, if I want to exit, I can simply press Q. And after this command, you see that this file is not taking up the contents of your entire terminal. So that is one thing that is very, it helps keep your terminal tidy, as well as provides for an easier way to look at a file. And there's also, of course, this file called, sorry, not this file. There's a command called more. More and less are two commands again. which you can use for the same thing.
Okay.
Okay.
So more command will show what, sir? Like,
It will also like allow you to view the file contents. Similarly, it just scrolls a little bit faster through it.
okay,
Okay, now since this is actually a huge file, it contains about more than 90,000 lines of text. That's why it's still at 0%. We haven't seen the entire thing.
okay,
But with more, I think we've also, whatever we, whatever part of the file we've seen, that's also outputted to the terminal in this case. So that's why I prefer less, because there's less clutter with that command. So I prefer it. I prefer that rather than more.
okay.
Okay, so let's log in to the next level. So exit. Print screen. Okay, level 8 now. Password is stored in data.txt. Okay, and it is the only line of text that occurs only once. Okay, again, if I try to view the contents here, there is a file data.txt.
What was the hint, sir? I can't understand.
Okay, the hint is saying that again, it's in the password is in the file data.txt, and it is the only line of text that occurs just once throughout the entire text. Every other single line is repeated multiple times.
Okay, okay, okay,
So this property of that line, the fact that it's only occurring once, this is what is going to help us solve
okay.
this level.
So I think we can use grep price.
What are you going to grep for?
Okay.
Like, there's grep is used when you know what you're looking for. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
know what particular character or what particular word you're looking for.
Yeah, yeah.
But the hint does not specify anything like that here.
I think we can use the unique, and with unique we can print the like which string printed how many times.
Okay, so let's say I not less but the cat. So I cat it and I use unique along with it, right?
Uh,
Okay, so cat and unique. So is this what we need to use?
this will print only the every lines at once only. I think we need to print the number how many times a string repeated in in this file.
No, so what am I going to do with the unique command now?
Uh,
Like what do I
like
need
there
to?
are 100 lines, and out of 100 line,
Hmm.
uh, one line is in this file, one line occur only once, and rest
Hmm.
of the 99 lines repeated twice or thrice.
just asking, how do I need to use this unique command there?
I forget the flag that actually. What is the flag to print the number of repetition? Hyphen n or what?
Have you tried out this challenge? Have you tried out this puzzle yourself?
No, sir. Hello.
Yeah, okay. See, if I just use this, let's see what I get. This is not going to be useful. What I need to do is I need to specify unique hyphen u. So it will only print now in this case the lines that are unique. Okay, again this, but there is still something that I'm missing here. If you look at the commands
Hyphen C is the flag. Yes.
for what command?
Hyphen C is the flag that we can use to print the number of repetition. Don't you?
Hyphen c with unique.
Yeah,
Or,
like with unique, hyphen U is the flag to print the unique lines,
hmm.
and hyphen C is the flag that we can use to print the number of repetition of particular line in a file.
But we're not looking for a particular line, right? Like
No,
I'm
like
not looking for any particular lines.
no, like there are n number of strings out of these. Some string are repeated once, some string are repeated twice. So in the hint it is given only one string is repeated. Only one string is there that is unique.
Hmm.
Other strings are repeated. So we can find the string that is that occur only once in this string.
Yes.
So for that thing is like hyphen c is the flag that we can use.
Okay. See, actually, in this earlier, excuse me, when I ran this is not giving me the answer because it's not comparing every individual line with every other line in the program. Okay,
Mhm.
that would make it a little too complex for this program to run when you give it a large amount of data.
Mm.
So I need to use something else here. There is a command called sort.
Mm. Okay.
So what sort will do is, again, it will sort the entire data so that the duplicate lines, okay, they will all appear together.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if I'm able to sort that out, I can now separate this. Like I can now find out, okay, this line has already occurred. If it is occurring a second time, then the unique command is going to like not include that with our search results. Now sort also has an option for unique, which is hyphen u. But again, this is not going to work here because it, the implementation is a little weird for this option. So the best option to use here is cat the data, pipe it to the sort command, and then pipe it to the unique command. And I only need to print the lines that occur once. This is your line that occurs only once now.
Sir, can you tell what the sort is doing one more time?
Okay. See, we have a large data file. Okay, it has a lot of text.
Yeah.
Without sorting, see what is happening. Let's say, okay, let's just take any particular line. Let's say I'm talking about this line.
Okay.
Now we know that other than the line containing the actual password, every other line is repeated quite a few times. So
o-
that means that this line must be occurring elsewhere within this file as well.
Yeah.
But now I'm just talking about this single line now. Without sorting, okay, what would happen is this unique command would have to compare this line with every other line in the program. Sorry, not in the program, in the file.
Okay.
Same goes for the other lines. So that would make it a very complicated, implementation. That is not how the unique command works. But with sorting,
Okay.
what will happen is if you have one line, it's occurring multiple times, then with sorting, all that will be clubbed together.
It will be in order.
Yeah. So if it's occurring 5 times in the sorted output, all those 5 times will be written together. So now that
O-
makes it work for the unique command, because if it sees that there are 5 lines, it knows that okay, these now one line is repeated 5 times, so I'll not include this in the output. But it is not able to do that
o-
for unsorted output.
Okay.
Okay, that's why we need to use sort. Okay.
Sir, but without sort also, unique command is seeing for each and every line, na, sir. So it can find the match now.
So it will compare the line to, let's say, the next line, but it is not going to compare the line to all other lines in the entire file.
Okay, it will not compare. Okay, okay.
Okay, so in case of a duplicate, see, it can compare two lines which are like one after the other, consecutive
Okay.
lines it can compare,
Okay.
but throughout the entire program, it's not comparing.
Okay, sir.
That's
I got
why,
it.
okay, so that's why we need to sort.
Okay, sir.
So we did that, we sorted and then use the unique command. So we have our password. So I just copied this and now we exit. So next is level 9. Okay, logged in. Now let's see what we are supposed to do. The password for the next level is in the file data.txt. Okay, in one of the few human readable strings preceded by several equal to characters. Okay, so there should be a file data.txt. Again, this contains a lot of stuff, so a simple cat command is not going to help.
So can you show the hint?
Yeah, this is the hint. Now there is a command here that they have mentioned in this list of commands which could be useful.
I think Grab can find those characters, sir.
Why does this sharing turn off automatically? Out of okay, out of these commands, we have used grep, we have used sort, unique. Okay, base64 we haven't used, but that's not really useful here. Have you used the strings command?
No,
Have you
sir.
tried this command in any situation earlier?
Long back, sir. 2 years ago, semester.
Okay.
Forgot about that command. Need to revise.
See, strings is used to find human readable text within a file.
Okay.
Now, that file could be anything, okay? It's not just a text file. It could be any kind of file. It could be an image, it could be an executable, any kind of file which has human readable strings, human readable text. So for that, we can use the strings command. And again on data.txt, if I just use this, I get a lot of stuff. So what else can I use now to make it a little easier?
Pipeline to grep, sir.
Pipeline to grep. Okay.
Yeah.
And what do I grep?
Grep character.
Pardon?
The character, sir. Whichever they specify.
Okay.
E.
So this equal to.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, right. So it says that it's preceded by several equal to characters. Now several means definitely it's more than one. So if I just do a grep for double equal to, I should be able to see. Okay, so it says the password is, and this is the password.
Sir, why double equal to? Because it's multiple.
Because it's not just one equal to that I'm looking for. Okay, otherwise, see if I
Okay,
just
okay.
did one, I would get a lot of other garbage as well, but I don't need that. And
Okay,
they are saying that it is preceded by several equal to, so several will include at least two. That is the reasoning I'm going with.
okay.
Okay, so the password is, this is the password that is required. So I copy this, exit. Okay,
Sir, even cat command do the same now, sir,
okay,
for
we are in.
data.txt.
Pardon?
Even cat command used to do a human readable format, no, sir. Then why
No,
string?
cat command is just it is going to show you the output.
Okay,
It is just sorry, it's going not show you the output. It is going to show you the contents of the file,
okay. Then
regardless of whether they are
data.txt.
human
Okay,
readable or not.
okay. In data.txt, only those listed characters are human readable.
In data.txt, yeah, we only if I just do cat, okay. In the previous section, if you would just done cat, you would see a lot of stuff, like a lot of special characters and symbols as well that you could not read. Even in this case, a human readable string does not mean that it has to make sense or it is a complete sentence or anything, but it's just that we can read these characters.
Okay.
Non-readable stuff would
If I
like,
cat this,
yeah, if you cat what,
if I cat this, if I get, I will get same. If I cat the same file, if I get, I will get the same output or different.
you will get a lot of extra stuff as well for cat. Like you'll get
Okay, extra. Okay.
try doing a cat for an executable or an MP3 or something which is not a text file. You'll get a lot of non-human readable stuff there.
Okay.
That will make it clearer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Okay, actually, let me try something like
Yes,
that
sir.
on
Yes,
my
sir.
system.
Even I tried today in robot.txt, if I'm not wrong.
What one?
In robot.txt, I tried a same cat and it was showing some for Nmap.
Okay. So if I,
I
let's say
just catted the Nmap file. Yeah.
JPG file. Okay. So this is non-human readable stuff because I'm trying to cat the
Okay.
JPG file here.
But if you use string with following that JPG file,
Hmm.
what it will have?
It will try to find out readable strings. Now, these strings probably won't
Okay.
make a lot of sense, but
Yeah, yeah.
okay, but these are all human readable stuff.
Okay, okay. Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is the usage of your strings command. Now, okay, what does this say? The password for the next level is stored in the file data.txt, which contains base64 encoded data. So let me just confirm data.txt is present. If I cat it, okay, so this is the data that is present in this file. Now, this itself is not the password because, okay, they've told us that this is base64 encoded.
Hash.
No, this is not hash.
Okay, it's encrypted,
No, it's encoded.
encoded.
Yeah.
Different, sir?
See, encryption is used to convert some kind of plain text to cipher text
Yeah.
in order to protect that data. Okay, so that let's say if you are trying to communicate with someone, you can encrypt your communication. In order to decrypt that, you'll need a key
Yeah.
which would be present, which would be known to the recipient of the data, but it would not be known to anyone else. Let's
Mm-hmm.
say if someone else comes, if someone else intercepts that communication,
Yeah, they
they
can't.
will not be able to read it. So that is the purpose of encryption.
Okay.
And encryption requires a key.
Okay.
Base 64 is not encryption, that is encoding. In
Okay.
encoding, again, you're converting data from one format to another, but there are no keys involved. So if I'm saying that I'm converting the text hello from ASCII to base 64,
Okay.
no matter how many times I convert it, like if I do that same thing today or tomorrow or 10 years from now, this conversion will give me the same output regardless of where I do it, on what system I do it, what when I do it, because
Encoding
there are,
also bidirectional.
pardon.
Encoding is bidirectional, not like hash, single direction.
Yes, encoding is bidirectional. Encryption is also bidirectional, but
Using
encryption,
key. Yeah.
yeah, encryption uses a key, and the purpose of encryption is different than that for encoding.
Okay.
Okay, so encoding might be used to convert data to a different format to either make it usable on another system,
Okay.
or to let's say when if you talk about media encoding, like converting a video from one format to another.
Mm-hmm.
So that is used in order to compress the video to make it use less space.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you record something and it's in AVI format, but AVI format is a very heavy format and takes up a lot of space. If you
Yeah.
convert that to MP4, it is going to take about 10% of the space it took as an AVI file.
Okay.
Okay, so that is also encoding.
Yeah,
but
okay.
it's not there to protect the data or anything. It's just you are
And,
trying to save space.
okay.
Okay, so now in this case, base 64 encoding has been used on this file, has been used on this data. All we need to do is decode it.
Okay.
So there is an inbuilt base 64 tool, base 64.
Data.t.
No, we need to tell it whether to encode or decode because the tool doesn't know what to do.
Okay,
So
okay.
I need to specify -d for decode and data.txt. So this is the password that we get. I know the password is okay. This is the password.
Okay.
If you need to encode something instead of D, you use -e for encode, and that is going to give you the encoded data. Okay, so this level again, it was not very complex. You just needed to know this base 64 tool. So we can now exit.
Sir, war games just it will teach about Linux only or
No, I
they can
mean,
perform.
this war games can have different kinds of challenges. Like this one is
Okay,
like the
Bandit is based on Linux.
yeah, Bandit is based on Linux. Exactly.
Okay.
If you see others, like for example, if I talk about there is a game called Krypton on the same over the wire.
Yeah, yeah, Krypton. Yeah.
So Krypton is focused on cryptography. That's why they took a similar name.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay, so see, I'll move on to other war games as well. But
Yeah, sure.
Bandit is actually the reason I wanted to start with this is one because of course is the
Yeah.
introductory one. So starting with this is a good idea. Plus it
Okay.
teaches you a lot of stuff about certain Linux commands that we don't normally use.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, in CTFs again we use some of these commands, but not all of them. But these are commands that will help you in a lot of situations. Okay,
Okay.
like uh, maybe not base 64, but something like strings is going to help you. Something
Yeah.
like sort and unique. Let's say you are working with files. That could be
Mm.
a very useful tool there.
Okay.
So even war games have different like focused different themes that they work on.
Okay.
Okay, now level 11, we are in 11. Okay, so the password for the next level is stored in the file data.txt. Okay, where all lowercase and uppercase letters have been rotated by 13 positions. So actually this is also what could say a cipher.
Okay.
Rot 13.
Yes, not 13. Correct. But of course, ROT 13 is not what it's not like a tool or something that we can use directly. Let me just see. Okay, data.txt is present. If I cat it out, now this is the content of the file. So can you tell me what command could I use here?
Maybe sort.
Sort. Uh, no, sort is not going to help here. See, are you familiar with ROT 13? The cipher that is ROT 13?
No, sir, not me.
No? Okay. let's just, there is this website called Rot 13. So what actually this is based on a cipher. What it does is it shifts your characters by 13 positions. Like if I'm typing hello, okay, this is Rot 11 currently. If I do Rot 13, then basically it creates some cipher text by shifting your characters by 13 positions. So H
Okay.
shifted by 13 positions becomes U. Similarly, L shifted by 13 positions becomes Y. O becomes B. Why? Because after you reach the end, you just loop back and start from A again. So,
Okay.
so there is a command in Linux, okay, which is known as tr or translate. So you can use this command to convert one kind of data to another. Not actually one kind, or let's say to solve these kind of problems. I'll show you how. What you do is cat this, pipe it to tr. Now what do we need to do? We need to convert this entire thing to a ROT 13 format. So the syntax for this is now this contains both uppercase as well as lowercase. So you write A to Z in uppercase as well as A to Z in lowercase. Now what this means is that this is the original data. Okay, we want to convert it to a slightly different format.
Sorry, A to Z space will come, right?
Pardon?
A to Z
No, no, no.
space will
There will
come.
be no space.
No space. Okay.
Now, okay. If I go back to this, if I type A, now A becomes N. So in the next set of characters that I write, the output set, first thing is N. Okay. So A will become N, and similarly it will happen for others as well.
N to M.
No, N to M will not be the case here. We need to include something else. See, if I just use N to M, okay, if I use this directly, I'll run into an issue that it is not going to consider the fact that we need to loop around after we reach Z.
Hmm.
So I need to provide it ZA here in the middle. So N to Z, A to M, because we need after Z we need to go back to A. So it is not going to consider that unless I write it in this way. So from N to Z and from A to M. So we are providing two different kind of sets here. Similarly, now for the lower case as well. So N to Z, A to M. So this is going to give us the correct output. So this is the required password for the next level. Okay, so password for bandit 12 we have received now. Okay, I'll continue with this in the next session. And okay, now we might not go through the entire this bandit set because it might take time.
Yeah.
So I would encourage you to try this out
Okay, sir.
yourself. And okay, like tomorrow also I'll be focusing on war games, but we'll do a little bit of bandit and move on to something else, so you can
Okay.
see other flavors of war games as well. So do you have anything, any questions that you would like to ask from today's session?
No, sir.
No? Okay. So I'll see you in tomorrow's session.
Yeah, sure. Bye.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
bye.